Hey guys, good afternoon. CandaceMarie here. It is time for a lunch, and I figured we'd do a little working lunch together. As far as IVF goes, today is kind of an off day, down day. I'm not sure the right word to use, but not really many active updates for today. No protocols or things that I have to do related to that. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to actually sit down with you for a few minutes and catch you up on the last few days because I haven't chatted with you in a minute and there has been some things going on. So stay tuned. We'll get settled at lunch and we'll talk more. Talk to you in a second. Back again. So that was a little bit of a fail. So I intended to have a nice sit-down lunch outside and be able to chat with you a little bit more, but it was really hot. So their outdoor patio doesn't really have like a cover over the top, maybe like a little bit of an arbor, but no cover. It's not enclosed, so there was no air conditioning. And right now we are in the middle of like the hottest time of the year. So there was that, and secondarily they had the ambient music playing and it was a little loud, so I wasn't going to be able to compete with that. So I went ahead and finished most of my lunch. I know I kind of showed you that salad. It was huge, like literally 4 people can eat that, and that's a medium. But it's great. It just means I have dinner later on tonight, so that's what we'll do. But anyway, so walked back home. I'm going to get back to work here in just a few minutes, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of catch you up on what's been going on the last few days. As you saw, my husband was here, which is great. We hadn't seen each other in quite some time, 6.5 weeks or so. So he had annual Army training and regular work and all these kinds of fun things. So I didn't vlog a whole lot while he was here, but he flew back yesterday, and I wanted to catch up on what's going on. So as I mentioned a couple of vlogs back, we did the egg retrieval 2.0, and we did the male retrieval as well, which was a little bit more physically demanding on my husband than it was on me, poor guy, but we kept him stocked with ice, so I think he'll survive. So we went ahead and did that, and that, if you're unfamiliar with the timing, the day of retrieval and fertilization is considered day 0. I would have thought it's day 1, but it's day 0. I have to cheat a little bit and look at what all the numbers were so I don't give it to you. But on our first egg retrieval, we got 8 eggs. 8 eggs, but only 6 were considered good, viable, usable. And then they froze those, so we had our little frozen 6-pack. And then on this retrieval that we just recently did, which we weren't planning on doing, but was recommended by the doctors, we got 5, and all 5 of those look great. So that gave us 11 good eggs to work with. So on the day that they did the second retrieval, they obviously thawed out the original 6-pack, and when they thawed them out, we lost 1 egg, which is a bummer, but sadly, it's part of the process. So again, if it's something that you haven't gone through yet, I personally believe in setting proper expectations. I always want to know from best case scenario all the way to worst case scenario, and that way I'm prepared. So anything that happens in between there, I've already kind of emotionally come to terms with that as often as possible is the way that I try to set it up for myself. We lost 1 egg on day 0, so that left us with 10. And so they fertilized the 10 eggs, and then on day 1, they did a check-in with us, and they let us know that 1 of the 10 did not fertilize at all. So that one didn't take. Again, that was a bummer, but we kind of knew attrition is going to be part of what's going to happen. So that left us with 9 embryos as of that date, which is exciting. And then on day 2, we got our update and we had 2 suboptimal embryos and 7 good embryos, according to how they were developing, you know, the size, the number of cells, the shape, and all those types of things. So that's good. And on day 3, that was, our update was we had 3 embryos that were suboptimal and 6 good embryos. So again, I'm not an expert. I'm learning as I go here. I try to consider myself pretty well informed. But just to be clear, there's a difference between a suboptimal and abnormal. So if you have an abnormal, that's something that's very evident is there's something wrong with it, right, at the cellular level. But then there's a grading process that goes on for the other embryos. So of course you're going to have, you know, really great, kind of like your grades in school, right? Are you an A+ student, an A student, A- student, B, C, D, so on and so forth, right? So same kind of thing. So if it's suboptimal, if you think about it that way, then you're kind of less than a medium C student, somewhere in there, right? So doesn't mean you're going to flunk out, but you may not get into Harvard. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. And then that kind of brings us up to today. So today we're technically at day 4. And the cool thing that I liked about this, again, it's setting expectations, is one, I guess, making sure that you're working with a really good team and they understand you, your personality, what your expectations are, you know, and at least working with this clinic, which again, if you haven't seen the prior vlogs, is LIV Fertility Clinic in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. They're very high touch. I mean, email, phone calls, face-to-face, they text with you if you have questions, all of the members of the team that you're working with. So they're all really good about that. And, you know, they let us know at the beginning from the embryologist, because this is kind of where, you know, this is her specialty. What she does is she takes the lead on the communication during this phase. And she let us know, I'm going to give you updates every day on what's going on and as they progress, which is great. And then when it got to day 3 and she gave us an update, she let us know, don't expect an update tomorrow on day 4. So that was good, because you start checking your email every morning to kind of see what's going on, right? It's very, very exciting. And so if you're going from update every day to not getting one, that can kind of throw you. So I personally really appreciated the fact that she set that expectation with me, that you're not going to hear anything today. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to stay busy, see what I can do, and take my mind off of that. So that was pretty cool. What else can I tell you? What else do you want to know? That's a good question. Comment down below. What do you want to know that I haven't told you so far? And then that way I can give you an update next time on whatever that is. I can tell you emotionally, I know I mentioned that in a couple of vlogs prior, is I'm pretty pragmatic. I haven't got any really high emotional highs, low emotional lows, anything like that so far. Because for me, I'm following orders. I need to, you know, do A, then B, then C, etc., and kind of go through the process until we kind of know where we're at. I will say the first email that we got during this phase in regards to the status of the embryos and everything, I finally noticed more of like a more emotional response from myself, which was very interesting. You know, and that's cool. There was you know, the little peak of, yes, here's what's going on with the embryos. We have them. They're doing great. That was exciting. And then every time you lose one, I personally, I can't say that I felt devastated about it. But for me, it was just like a bummer. It's like, okay, I knew that was happening, but it's still a bummer when it happens, right? So I definitely noticed that. And then the other thing was I did start waking up in the morning and checking my email, which I wasn't doing that through the entire process, because it's just been business up until that point. But I'm now more emotionally invested in what is going on. So I noticed that about myself. Which is kind of cool, right? I mean, that's how we're supposed to be. This is a monumental thing that's going on in my life personally, in my marriage for my husband, my friends and family that are emotionally invested. And, you know, you start watching these vlogs, and probably you as well. So, kind of cool. We're there. We're getting emotional about the whole thing. And that's part of the human experience. So that's cool. And then tomorrow, dun, 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 is day 5. So what happens on day 5? So I am actually going into the office. They're probably going to give me a once over, kind of see what's going on. since the retrieval, and then we're also going to sit down with the embryologist. Well, I guess I really can't say we. My husband's not going to be here, but I'm going to FaceTime him or Skype him in or WhatsApp him in one way or another, so he can hear everything firsthand and talk to the team, so we can make some decisions there. But that's going to be tomorrow, so I hope that you stay tuned. I hope that you like this video if you liked it. I hope that you subscribe so you can follow along the journey with us and find out what's going on tomorrow right along with us, and then we'll keep you posted. But other than that, one thing that I would ask for is, what do you want to see in Puerto Vallarta? So there's times like today. I have my work day, of course, but beyond that, what am I going to do with myself, right? So I don't have the luxury of being able to go ATVing right now because I can't get jostled around and that sort of thing. You know, ziplining, which I would love to do, but I can't. But I do a fair amount of walking. I like to go out and check out different restaurants and different things like that. But send me on a couple adventures. So give me your feedback. What do you want to see? Look at, you know, any of the websites for Puerto Vallarta. Is there a restaurant you would love to go see? You want me to go see? Give the rundown on what it is. Anything like that, let me know. Let's make this an interactive experience. Besides just IVF, right? Let's take you on a mini vacation and kind of take you out of your everyday for a few minutes every day. So that's kind of all that's going on here. Not sure if I'm going to check back in later on today, kind of see how the day develops. So if I don't, I will see you next time. But if I do, we'll chat again in a little bit. But always remember, stay positive. Try to go out and spread some kindness when you're out there today. And Carpe Diem. And we'll talk soon. Bye.